But as I said, you can get all this on the Tecnica, even the carbon fiber footrest. So I'm going to leave the windows open so that we can get some cool air in here for the cameras, because it's 38 degrees outside. That's insane. I'm going to go for manual mode. Now we have 3 different modes in the STO: STO, Trofeo and Pioggia. And STO is like the street and sporty setup. There is no comfort or normal. Sporty, track and wet. And these are 3 different modes than you find in the Tecnica. Okay, let's get driving. I haven't seen anyone go past me, so there should be a nice gap in front of me. And why not just start with the launch control? So I think Trofeo, ESC off. Let's give that a try. Yeah. Now tell me that's not the best sound and fun you've ever had. And that's all because we only have 2-wheel drive, and you can just hear that we have like a little bit of wheel spin, and the sound of that loss of traction combined with that V10, it's just amazing. Now, as I said, this is just going to be a benchmark test, so when I get into the Tecnica, I'll compare the two. Man, this thing is so impressive, and this road, as you can see, it's not the best quality-wise, and I'm even in Trofeo mode, but the suspension is just coping with it. It's not getting unsettled, it's not busy. That is so impressive. You would expect this car to be super hard and uncomfortable, but when you look at it, because it looks like a track-focused weapon, which it is, but it's surprisingly drivable, approachable and comfortable. Now, with all that carbon fiber, this is like 80 kilograms lighter than the Tecnica, because we have carbon fiber body panels, and that just makes a whole lot of difference. And before I forget, the launch control I just did, that was a 3.2 second run. That was what we recorded with the STO 0 to 100, and with the Tecnica we did a 3.6. There is 0.4 of a second a difference, which is pretty weird considering they have the same power. Okay, this is where it gets really bad. The road is. Let's switch to STO mode, Super Trofeo Omologato, and you immediately feel the damper softening, and it becomes even more composed and comfortable. Steering gets a bit lighter, which I actually prefer, but maybe that's because I own Ferraris and that's the king of light steering and direct steering, so maybe that's why I prefer this lighter setting in STO mode. Now, I love the fact that when you drive a car like this in this area, there's the Tecnica, the people just love it. They take pictures, they want you to rev it, they want you to go launch control, and that is different when you drive these cars in the Netherlands or in Germany, because people tend to not like you. But there's just a sense of pride when they see these cars and they're like, yeah, that's what we did, you know. And I really like that mentality. I even had an entire family coming out of their house, like kids, grandparents, the parents, and just enjoying the sound of this mighty V10, which in a few years we are going to really miss. So get your Huracan V10 while you can. What are we going to do here? Thank you so much, guys. Italians, I love you, and your food and everything about you. Thank you. Oh, this is a lovely bit of road. Let's give this a try. aerodynamics doing their work in a nice and aggressive fashion. You have a lot of pedal feel, and because of all the clever aero, the brakes never get hot. So you have full brake performance all the time. Man, the way this car just shrinks around you, it's absolutely magical. Okay, so let's go to the meeting point and switch to the Tecnica. So I just finished my run with the STO, with a few other STOs and a Tecnica. It's just incredible. I found the best road in Sardinia by accident, by going off route, and what a combination of car and country. Magnificent. So you join me on the beautiful road again, and now with the Huracan Tecnica. And this is grigio artist in matte finish. So yet another cool spec. It's less cool than the blue Notte, I think, but also a beautiful design. Really like that blue brake caliper with the center lock wheels. And what's also new with the Tecnica is that you can get half of this in black. You can get the tailpipes in different finishes as well, which is also quite special. You can get the spoiler in black, which I prefer over the body color. And this right here is now matte black. This comes as standard, like the under panels of the car, and these inserts, stuff like this. This is optional in carbon fiber, but you can get all that in high gloss black, which I think looks a bit better. And what's also new is that you can get this striping on the side, like with the Gallardo Superleggera. You can really tell the flow into this huge air duct right here when you have that. But enough about all the specs. Let's just get driving, because the Huracan STO is fresh in my mind. It's top of mind, and this Tecnica has to live up to that. Well, it has to like give me 80% of the experience. That's how reviewers call it. Some even say they don't notice any differences when it comes to driving. So I'm really curious what it will be like on this beautiful road. Man, I love it. We are in Corsa mode, but let's start in Strada. Now you immediately notice it's just quite a lot softer and more comfortable, less communicative, especially the front axle. It's just more comfort, less feel, less feedback. Now let's go to Corsa, and then we have to manually shift gears, which I don't mind because the gearbox is just perfect. So they have the same gearbox and engine software, so drivetrain wise they are identical. But when it comes to the handling, they are far from identical. And for you this might seem like the same experience, but for me, I feel the car through my seat, through the steering wheel, and it's totally different. We don't have that hardcore dedicated sharpness that you get with the STO. It also seems a little less quick in the steering, but that could be because of the softer setup. There's just this bit of woolliness in the center that you don't have with the STO. And the entire car is just handling wise, just less exciting, I have to say. But for the public roads, this probably is the better car because you don't have that massive arrow that a lot of people may find over the top and too much, if there is such a thing with a Lambo. But I can't imagine that you go for this. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. It's like 65,000 euros. And when you look at the specs and the speed and the performance, you might think, wow, that's a lot of money for a car that on paper doesn't do anything extra. But in reality, in my opinion, it's actually worth the extra 65,000. But you cannot get an STO, you cannot get a Tecnica. Well, maybe on the second-hand market, but both of them have been sold out. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But if you manage to find either one of these, I'd say go for the STO. Even though the Tecnica is in between the Evo and the STO, and all the reviews say it's more towards the STO, but it's more towards the Evo. I honestly think that. Difference is that front axle. With the STO, the turn in, the sharpness, the steering, the turn in, it was all just 2 levels more